Nema, tako reći, vozača koji nije čuo za markiranje goriva. A o čemu je reč, verujem da uglavnom svi i znaju. Reč je o tome da se markira gorivo da bi se sprečilo pojavljivanje nelegalnog goriva, a toga je zaista bilo mnogo i na taj način je država gubila mnogo. Odlučeno je da od 1. februara krene markiranje goriva u Srbiji i zaista, sudeći po prvim rezultatima i po onome što se događalo na tržištu nafte i naftnih derivata, rekli bismo da to markiranje daje prave rezultate. Što je najvažnije, vozači su nekako stekli poverenje u markiranje jer kažu da je to jedan od preduslova da budu sigurni i u kvalitet goriva. Čitav postupak markiranja goriva radi se tehnologijom američke kompanije Authentics, a to ovde sprovode u Srbiji firma SGS i NanoInspect i evo do sada je to markiranje obavljano kako valja i mnogi distributeri su takođe zadovoljni, vozači su zadovoljni, a ovih dana radi se i kontrola tih markera u gorivu, na pumpama, u skladištima, a naravno pitanje koliko su ti rezultati dobri i šta je markiranje zapravo doprinelo sređivanju tržišta i da li su zadovoljni sa sadašnjim rezultatima, to je pitanje za našeg današnjeg gosta. Stigao je iz daleke Amerike, iz firme Authentics. Inače, gospodin Kevin Mekena je predsjednik sektora za naftu i gas. Dobrodošli, gospodine Kevin.
Hvala.
Recite mi, evo, počela je kontrola markiranja i kontrola markera u samom gorivu na benzinskim stanicama. Kakvi su rezultati prema vašem utisku već na početku ovde u Srbiji?
I think the results we've seen, the team members are not surprised by, but I think we surprised a lot of people with how effective the program was and how quickly we saw very good results on the program. And it's been very encouraging here in Serbia because you don't have to take my word for it. We're very pleased to see the Office of the Prime Minister publish the results and claim the success of the program, where we were able to see very sharp increases in excise tax collection, showing the efficacy of this program. The figures that have been quoted to date are the fact that the government has been able to collect over 35 million euros in additional taxes due to the implementation of this program. So we think we have some really good positive proof points of the success of this program already.
Gospodine Kevin, kako su iskustva na početku kontrole markiranja u drugim zemljama bila i koliko je bilo nepoverenja u markiranje od strane distributera i vlasnika automobila, potrošača i kako ste vi to rešili?
So we usually see results very quickly, and it's typically tied to when the program is really made known and you start seeing enforcement actions. So what we're usually talking about is very quickly, as we've seen here in Serbia, usually within the first 6 months of the program, you'll see some marked increases in tax collection, as well as a substantial increase in the quality of the fuel supply. A very good example that I can think of is the country of Kenya, where we've been running a program there with our partner here, SGS, since 1998. And in that country, in the first year of the program, they were able to collect $70 million in additional excise taxes because of the program. And as you can imagine, $70 million is a lot of money for any country, particularly a poorer country such as Kenya. So a lot of the benefits from the program go further than just the quality of the fuel supply. We're able to help these countries fund needed programs, collect more tax revenue, and help put a dent in some of the organized crime that may be occurring in those countries. As far as mistrust with some of the fuel users, distributors, car drivers, we have a number of things on our side that have helped us that we've been able to communicate on our programs. One is the markers we use are made out of the same basic components as the fuel itself. So what we're doing is not going to impact the quality of the fuel. Combine that with the fact that we mark at very low marking levels. We're talking about parts per billion. So if you think of that in terms of 1 drop of water, that's like putting 1 drop of water in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So the fact that we use something that's made of the same components of the fuel and we combine that at very low marking levels really solidifies our position that we're not going to affect the quality of the fuel. On top of this, we do have hard evidence. We've had tests run. So I can tell you since 2002, we've been marking major branded fuels in the United States. And before these fuels were put to market with our marker, they went through a lot of testing to ensure that we were not affecting the quality of fuel. This included both laboratory testing as well as testing on actual vehicles where our fuel marked with our marker and without marker was tested on a fleet of taxis over a period of several months. And the results of that were very conclusive that our markers do not affect the quality of the fuel and they do not do any kind of incremental harm to human health or the environment.
Ovo što ste rekli zaista je zadivljujuće i ako je verovati ovome što gospodin Kevin kaže, zaista vredi markiranja, što je najvažnije za svaku državu, to je izuzetno važno zbog moguće uštede. Međutim, u Srbiji čitavu kontrolu i markiranje praktično organizuju SGS i NanoInspect. Kako je to u drugim zemljama? Ko to radi u drugim zemljama?
Well, we're currently marking in major programs in 12 countries around the world. And I could tell you that our preferred partner around the world has been SGS. So the majority of those countries we work with SGS. There are some rare occasions where we have actually a government agency that participates and does the inspection operations. Very similar to how we're doing here in Serbia, where we have SGS, but we also have government inspectors that accompany SGS on the inspections and as part of the controls of the program.
Da li ste vi zadovoljni sa onim što radi SGS, NanoInspect, tržišna inspekcija? Da li po vašem mišljenju to dobro rade ovdje u Srbiji?
Yes, absolutely. I think we have a great sense of teamwork and cooperation here. And as I mentioned earlier, I think the results of the program are speaking for themselves. The fact that we've seen such tremendous success in additional tax collection in such a short period of time.
Zašto je ta primjena nanomarkera sada trenutno samo u Srbiji? Zašto je nema u drugim zemljama u Evropi? Ima li nekih posebnih razloga što je to samo u Srbiji i na koji način se to u drugim zemljama radi?
The fact is, though, other countries in Europe are marking their fuel. They're marking their fuel with dyes. Since 2002, in Europe, the Euro marker has been used to mark heating oil so that it can be identified where it's improperly used as a road fuel. Now, I can say that I think the reason Serbia is the only country right now with an advanced technology solution is the fact that the rest of Europe, I don't think, is caught up with the fact that the dye is not enough. When we're talking about the amount of money that's at stake here, criminals get very sophisticated and they have a lot of resources at their disposal. And I think Europe is now just starting to realize that the dye is not enough to protect their fuel as the criminals have figured out ways to remove it. The criminals have figured out other ways to take advantage of price differences in fuels. And you can see it often in the press, in the news. I've seen earlier this year reports of upwards of $4 billion being lost due to fuel smuggling within Europe. So I think Serbia is really a pioneer and is leading the way for Europe in implementing a more advanced technology solution where we're using covert nanotechnology markers to address the problem and to stay one step ahead of the criminals. Now, we do see other countries that are starting to catch up. I think a good example is the United Kingdom, where they had a problem in Northern Ireland where the dyes that were being used were recognized as being ineffective. And they're just in the process now of implementing a new program there where they're going to use a more sophisticated marker. There are other countries in Europe that are starting the process of issuing requests for information in the tender process to procure the technology. So I think many other countries will be soon behind Serbia in following your example in this quite remarkable fuel program.
Slušajući se ovo, gospodine Kevin, izgleda da je vaša tehnologija, nanotehnologija, nešto što je teško kopirati i što će na kraju Evropa morati da prihvati. Da li to znači da je Srbija zemlja koju će mnogi u Evropi kopirati? Da li će Srbija biti primjer svima kako zapravo treba raditi?
Da. Yes, I think we're seeing it already. You're already an example. We've received a lot of inquiries already just based on the results that other countries have heard about Serbia. And I think what we've seen in the past is we talk about the results people can achieve with a program like this, and it really sounds too good to be true. And people usually don't believe what you're talking about, but the good piece here is that we have conclusive evidence and proof. So I really do think that Serbia is going to lead the way for many countries in Europe.
Da li je postojalo pokušaja i da li je bilo pokušaja da se napravi neki lažni marker, da se nekako prevare svi oni koji učestvuju u procesu koji ste vi promovisali u Srbiji kad je reč o markiranju?
In Serbia, no, we've not seen any attempts thus far. We have seen attempts in other countries where we have similar programs, and it will typically revolve around someone trying to steal the marker. So the marker security is extremely important in the program, and it's something we've taken very, very seriously here in Serbia. So I think we have a very good security program in place, both the physical security of the marker as well as a follow-up to track and have a very good auditing system to make sure that every drop of marker is properly placed in the field and accounted for.
Dakle, sudeći po ovome što smo čuli, zaista čovjek može biti siguran u to markiranje i može verovati da takvim obeležavanjem goriva se u stvari sprečava prodaja onoga što nije legalno, onoga što se pojavljuje sa sivog tržišta, a time štedi i država, vozači su sigurniji u to gorivo, pa u dobroj meri i u kvalitet, i ako je verovati gospodinu Kevinu u svemu ovome što je ispričao, jeste neka budućnost kad je reč o nafti, naftnim derivatima na tržištu Srbije i verujemo da će se kasnije kontrolom kvaliteta goriva sve to potvrditi i da ćemo konačno imati pravi red na tržištu naftne i naftnih derivata u Srbiji. Gospodine Kevin, hvala vam što ste bili naš gost, želim vam puno uspeha i verujemo da će sve ovo što radite zaista dati prave rezultate na zadovoljstvo svih u Srbiji. Hvala vam.
Hvala.